I'm running behind. I was trying to set up these AirPods, and I actually am recording this from home, so I'm in my backyard here. I'm hoping the Wi-Fi stays fairly good for us. It's kind of intermittent here in Sycamoose. We don't have the best Wi-Fi. So I thank anyone that's joining me here today. I apologize for running a few minutes behind. I'm trying out some new ear pods here, and if you would like to comment below that you're joining me, that is wonderful. I'd love to hear from you. So let's take our way over to our yoga mats and get ready to set up in our Yin Pose. So we're going to start in constructive rest, laying on your back, and your feet are resting on the mat, your knees are bent. So I'm going to head over there now. It's always quite a challenge to get set up for these classes. I'm going to just remove my blankets and my bolsters just to the side here. Come down onto your back. Feet are resting on the mat. Root down through the soles of the feet. Let's take a moment here to check in. I'm feeling a little frazzled. Camus and the Shishwap. So I'm going to root down through those feet. Feel into each toe. Feel into the big toe mound. Bring this awareness to the outer pinky side of the heel. And feel this beautiful sunshine on my face. It feels so wonderful and calming. Let's draw our right knee into our chest. Extend that left foot out. I'm going to keep both feet active here, just gently drawing my toes towards me. Not too much, so I'm stretching that calf muscle, but just a gentle drawing back. Just feeling into the hips. Toes nice and wide. Squeezing the toes. Opening nice and wide. Let's do that 3 more times. So knowing that nothing has to be perfect, I was hoping to be able to do this class from the new studio space down on the Sycamus channel, but my Wi-Fi is not set up yet, so I'm at home on my patio. Back down to the ground. Extend that foot out. this left foot in, left knee comes in towards the left armpit. Again, gently activating the feet. So it's similar to just as if you're standing on the wall in front of you. But I like to point out that we're extending through the heel and also extending through the toes. It's a very nice active foot here. And in Yin, open the toes, scrunch the toes, open the toes. Let's do this several times on your own, just noticing how this feels in the feet, activating those toes, making them nice and flexible and fluid. And let's drop that left foot back down to the floor. Just slide that heel away from you. Rock from hip to hip just to reset the sacrum onto the ground. Maybe feeling a little bit more balanced in the left side and the right side. We're going to draw those knees in towards the chest, coming into leg lifts. Let's extend those feet up towards the sky. I'm going to keep the feet together. And as I take my next exhale, I'm going to lower those feet down and look in up towards the toes, lifting my head. And then inhale, the knees come into the chest, head comes back down to the mat. Lifting the head off the floor, looking between the toes, getting into the yang part of the yoga. And inhale those knees back into your chest. Head comes back down to the floor. Let's do two more. We're going to inhale, the feet come up. Exhale, lower, lift the head, look through the toes. Inhale, knees come back. Exhale, the back head down to the mat. One more time. Inhale those feet up. Exhale, lower, look through the toes. My arms are even coming up. Up here. And just take a moment for a couple of breaths in our constructive rest pose. So this is a beautiful pose where you can feel the body completely resting. And I found that when we're learning about this in therapeutic yoga, you will have this opportunity to release the psoas muscle. So the psoas muscle is deep in the body. So option to come. I like to come into rock and rolls just to kind of massage that spine all the way from top to bottom. And then slowly come up to seated. So taking a nice tall seat on your mat. I'm feeling pretty warm, so I'm going to take the sweater off. And let's come into our seated portion of the yin practice. Sit up the hips up slightly. I'm going to take a moment to breathe. May is Mental Health Month. And I know for myself, I have been struggling with my mental health. It's been a challenge, especially with feeling this isolation where if you do deal with depression, it's not a great feeling. We tend to isolate ourselves anyways. Belly, take right hand to belly, left hand to the heart. Nice tall seat here. Just checking in. How do I feel? What is my body asking me for? What is my intention? Sankalpa. Om Shanti Hum. Meaning I am peace. I'm going to seal this intention into my heart space. With my training in heart yoga, I use my heart as my anchor. And this is why this new little studio I'm opening with outdoor patio yoga and a little bit of indoor yoga is called right arm comes underneath, opening up again, and right arm comes over top. So just doing this a few times here, just opening up, get into the shoulders. We're all coming into this place now where we have a slump. So maybe this yin yoga can be a slump asana. Good. Just let the arms come wide, bend at the elbows, and then pinch the shoulders in the back. So drawing the elbows back, and then let the arms come down. Good. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, coming into those cactus. Those arms up. Exhale, coming into cactus arms. Draw those elbows back, drawing the shoulder blades towards one another, sitting nice and tall. And exhale, lower. Good. One more time. We're going to inhale those arms up. Exhale, bring the arms down into cactus arms. Draw them back. Shoulder blades draw towards each other. And now bring the elbows together. Fairly even because I am really achy today. I take those hands down to the floor in front of me, walk the palms out, coming into a simple forward fold. So I'm going to try not to use too many props today. I know many of you at home don't have a lot of props. And it's going to change my leg. So taking the left leg in front and the right leg is now in behind. So we traditionally sit in a way that is a habit for us. So we want to even that out today. We're going to inhale those arms up and exhale, coming into a nice side extension here. Again, if you're having any shoulder pain, you can take that hand, rest it behind the head. I'm going to do that for my left arm today. People aren't towards my beautiful red umbrella up here. Coming back and inhaling those arms up. Exhale, bring the hands down in front into that little static forward fold. If you want to go deeper, please go as deep as you want. Remember, this is your practice. I tend to be very gentle with myself because I have a very sensitive nervous system. Exhale, extension over to the left this time. Feeling everything opening up on the right side of the body. Again, I'm going to open up that right shoulder, look up towards the sky. Good, and then bringing that hand all the way back down. I'm going to do a few more arm hugs here. So it's kind of like you're coming with me today just for my practice because it's a very gentle day. Typically, the feet are closer to the body. With yin, butterfly means the feet come away from the body. So you can take your blocks, or if you have a nice bolster like I have here, you can bring it in front of you. We're coming into a forward fold. Also really great for mental health. Nice way of coming inwards, calming the breath. And we will come to just a simple pranayama here. Forward, maybe you want to take this bolster, rest it on, let the hands come down to the floor, and begin this simple pranayama breath. So inhaling through the nose, receive the inhale for 2, 3, 4. Hold for 2, 3, 4. And exhale for 2, 3, 4. So trying this on your own. Let's do this 3 times. Inhaling for a count. Coming to we're holding it in relative stillness. We're trying to come to rest. So unlike in hatha, we're allowing the muscles to relax. And of course, holding this for a length of time. So typically yin yoga, holding poses from 2 to 3 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes. Looks like you're doing very little, but you're actually doing a lot. You're working quite hard here. Good. 5 more breaths here. Come back to your natural breath. Love and care. These knees can be a little bit cranky. Giving them a little bit of massage. And we're going to come on to our hands and knees. So making your way over onto hands and knees. And I keep this bolster close by because I am going to use it for a toe stretch. So coming into that nice, beautiful tabletop, come into that knees are tug the top of the foot towards me. So this engages the abdominal muscles. We're going inhale, arch the back, look towards the sky. Exhale, rounding, tucking the tailbone towards you, looking towards your heart. And you're keeping those toes drawing towards you, tugging towards you, keeping the abdominals engaged. And we inhale as we arch and gaze up. And exhale as we round and look. Maybe the body's asking, maybe got some circles. And then going the other direction. And I'm going to tuck the toes here. So coming into rocket cat cow. So this is getting into the toes, opening up the toes, getting into the fascia, the plantar fascia of the foot. We inhale. Come back, placing that little bit of weight into the toes. Good. So just playing here with getting the feet active. So I like to call this my happy feet yoga. And now coming into our toe stand. So this can be quite intense on the back of the feet. And I did break my toe last year, as you guys know. So I use my bolster. I bring my knees up onto my bolster. I'm still tucking those feet. You're going to be able to see better. The toes, bringing the weight not so much into the toes, but also using the bolster to take some of that weight. I'm sitting up nice and tall, pressing the hands down into the top of the femur bone. Let those shoulders relax. Let's stay here for 5 breaths. This can be very intense, you guys, so hang in there. If you have to, come back to the mantra, I am peace. Hey, Izzy. Izzy came to visit. from my puppy dog, and move that bolster out of the way. So let's come into our down dog. Down dog, I know you wouldn't consider a yin pose, but it is. It's part of our yang pose. I'm going to tuck those toes again. Draw the hands forward. Widen the fingers. I'm going to draw that thumb a little bit back towards me. And I'm going to bring a little micro bend into the elbows, lifting those knees off the ground. Just feel the abdominals engage. And then extending the hips back. Head. And then I'm going to come to a nice place of stillness. So knowing that your heels don't have to come down like mine do. You can leave the heels off the ground. Sometimes that's just how our bodies are built. And maybe you have quite a big bend in the elbows. That's okay too. This is your body. It's not going to look like mine. And again, let's just bend those knees, extend the hips a little bit higher. The wrists. And you can always put blocks under your hands if you feel that you need to bring the ground up to you. Letting out a sigh when you need to. Two more breaths. Slowly use down to the ground. Hold here for a couple breaths. And then bring my knees down. Bring them nice and wide. Draw those sit bones back towards the hips. Coming down into child's pose. Let yourself rest here. Forehead comes to the mat. I like to bring my thumbs to meet, letting the elbows truly rest on the earth. And before I come to that, finding that peaceful place, coming here for 5 more breaths, your own natural breath. Just noticing the sensation in the body, feeling the breath coming into the back sides of the lungs. Just surrender. And wide, just pressing into the palms. Let's come up looking towards the hands. We're going to come up to our hands and knees. And let's come into dragon pose. So I will use my blocks here for this. Taking them on either side of my mat here. I'm just going to check the time. And I'm going to place my hands on top of the blocks. Bring the right foot forward. So if you find this is really hard on your knee, you can just fold the mat over. So you're doubling up the mat. Feels better on my knee. blocks in the insides of the legs. So you can use your blocks here. Another nice thing to do, which I love, is using the bolster, and I place it under the hip so I can kind of rest my hip down onto the bolster and coming into that nice deep dragon pose. So here you can rest, maybe so and be more gentle. Foot that's lengthened out. And I don't want the foot to be drawn in, the toes drawn in. I want them lengthening behind my heel. 5 more breaths here. It's quite warm. Walking that foot in. Keep your blocks handy still. Let's come into just a half split here just to stretch out that right foot. Just letting that hamstring stretch out. I'm going to come over to the other side. So come back to kneeling. Get yourself set up to do dragon on the opposite side. Before you do so, let's take a moment just to settle the body. Down into the earth. A little bit of time for introspection. What's going on inside? Ignoring the sounds around you. Good. Let's take a few minutes to kind of come up and breathe. Little back bend. Come back down. This is too. I'm going to change sides here. So I'm bringing this left foot forward, coming into dragon pose. I'm going to draw this heel out. Toes come off of the mat. Again, you can take your blocks or your bolster, bringing them onto the inside of the foot here. And then just bringing the hands down. I'm going to lengthen that right knee away from me. I'm coming into that nice deep we don't want to feel any sharp pain, electric pain. We want to feel a little bit of that dull ache or sensation into the right hip, maybe into this left hip as well. So dragon pose. Again, making sure those I'm going to come up and come into that half split, taking my blocks with me. Just bringing that leg in front this time. Just having a nice stretch into that left hamstring. A moment here to breathe. So lots of noise around me today. I can hear the trains, the traffic. And I'm going to bring this awareness back to my own breath. So just coming to one hip, bring yourself over onto your back. And we'll come into our reclined butterfly. So again, this is different from hatha. We don't draw the feet so close to the body. And we're going to let the soles of the feet open up towards each other. And it's more of a diamond shape. So take these blocks, if you like, place palms face up towards the sky. Let's feel the kidneys resting down on the mat. Maybe rock the head from side to side for a moment. Five more breaths here. And let's take our hands down to the thighs, draw the knees back together. Lift up the hips, coming into baby bridge, just to reset the sacrum back down on the earth. Good, and we're going to come into a supported shoulder stand. So we're going to take the block underneath the draw the knees gently in towards the heart. And now extend those feet up towards the earth. I like to kind of just rock back and forth so I can feel comfortable. Again, you want to keep the back of the skull resting on the mat. And also, it's better if you don't have anything underneath the neck here, just because we don't want to cause any extra pressure on the cervical spine. This is a wonderful gentle way. So I know for myself, when I was feeling really depressed, a lot of times I didn't have a lot of energy, but I did need to move. but I needed to move in a way that was gentle to my nervous system. 5 more breaths here. Remember, your beautiful heart can anchor you, knowing that you can trust your heart. Good. Let's lower the feet down to the earth. Take a moment here to stay in a supported bridge pose. So again, options for arms. You can bring the arms into goalie arms. Awareness to those beautiful feet that walk upon this earth. Notice each toe. Press down through the big toe mound. And then bring this awareness to the outer edge of the heel, pinky side of the heel. And feel that slight subtle lift into the arch of the foot. So I'm going to slowly lift off of the block and just roll the spine gently down to the mat. Bring those knees into the chest. And today I want to end our class, either your option to come into heart bed pose or fish pose, or coming into Shavasana. So I like to bring the bolster. You can also use your blocks. And we're going to fight that slump asana, the slumping forward of the shoulders. To bring the back comes right up by this back of the bolster here, sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to take the hands down, laying myself down onto the bolster. So this is very active. I want to feel a nice arch in the spine here. If this is too much for the spine, place a pillow or a blanket underneath. Again, we have options for arms here. So arms can come up and behind. If you have sore shoulders like I do, you can use the blocks to rest the elbows on. So it takes a bit to kind of set up. Down. So you have super nice flexible shoulders today. Let them come back. That's up to you. Options to bring the legs again into that Supta Baddha or Reclined Butterfly pose. And the blocks go underneath the thighs. I need some extra support today. You can even take a pillow, place it underneath the head, allowing the chin to be higher than the heart. And I invite you to stay here for your Shavasana. Anytime you feel like you've had enough hip opening, just extend those legs out in front of you. Coming into this beautiful, peaceful heart opener. Wish to come down to laying, you can come into the traditional Shavasana. Come back to our natural breath. And also option, sometimes if you want to get on with your day and feel a little bit more ready for the day, you can come up to seated. So to do that, roll to your right side. Slowly come up to seated. And you can sit again on your bolster or your pillow. I just have a pillow with me today. Whatever that is for a nice place of reflection, relaxation. Time to absorb the practice of yoga. They are angels and ancestor oracle cards. So last night I pulled a card asking the universe what I need to allow myself to just let happen instead of getting into the worried mind all the time. And the card that came up is Sage. You can get it out here. And I'll come a little bit closer so you can see it when you come out of. And I'll bring you out of Shavasana or the seated reflection space with this reading. And the Sage card is about being devoted and committed. The message is be willing to go the whole road and back again. This will allow you to be the best you can possibly be. This is about how the sage represents the wise one within. When this card arises, it shows experiences can impart incredible insights to those with whom you come into contact. This card is also about observation and becoming more aware of who you are and of all your inner workings, because that awareness can bring more clarity to your decisions. The extended message of this card: devotion is a powerful energy. Right now, angels and ancestors want to know how committed you are to your growth. Your continued dedication body growing and expanding. The energy of oneness is offering itself to you now, and it's important you take some time to integrate it to all so that you can be supported and guided by it. This is what the divine wants for you. Make a note of experiences or teachers making themselves known to you at this time, because you are going to share those teachings one day soon. You're stretching the arms up and overhead, out in front of you. Making your way over to your right side, just resting here in your fetal pose, a pose of new beginning. In this place, we can bring in a moment of gratitude. What are you grateful for in this time? Let's face you and then bringing them to rest on your heart. So I love the Eagle Mudra. It's used in beautiful Aboriginal Native ceremonies. It's also very centering. And it brings in this place of recognizing our own resilience, knowing that we can soar through the sky with such grace, such strength. And we also recognize that with this Garuda Mudra or Eagle Mudra, that we sit in a place of those ancestors before us, the teachers before us. And we send much gratitude to each of them. Into the Namaskar. And take this moment to close the eyes, take 3 breaths. And I will end this practice with 3 rounds of a chant. Om Namo Gurudev. Om Gurudev. Gurudev Namo. Namo Om Namo Gurudev Gurudev Gently drawing the chin towards your heart, bringing the heart and the mind closer together. With much gratitude from my heart to each of your beautiful hearts. Thank you for joining me on Facebook Live, Yin Yoga, and I hope you have. So thank you everyone for coming. The card I have, just to show you the picture, I don't know if you can see it, is the sage. Such a beautiful vision. I want to thank you for coming. I hope that this helps if you're having a challenging time with mental health. Know you're not alone. It is a very challenging time. Know that you can trust this practice of yoga. It's very healing. I know that it helps me. Starting in July, grand opening will be June 28th. And thank you so much again. I appreciate and hope that you feel the love that I am sending you from my yoga mat on my patio to your home from my home. Have a wonderful day.